In this segment, Sir Jack talks about the relationship of the Grand Prix drivers in his day and the difference between his era and Formula One racing today. In those days, the camaraderie between the drivers seemed to be very unique. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, it was. It was very unique, really, because we were all friends, and we weren't racing for £1 million, so it didn't matter. Today's different. It's all money.
Money.
So that's changed the scene completely. But in my day, we were racing for £15, if you like. The money side of it didn't come into it. So the comradeship and Formula, particularly in the Formula One, when I got into Formula One, the Formula One drivers were extremely good. Good drivers, good people to race against. The whole thing was so good. I really enjoyed it.
And the cars were so different. I've been lucky enough to have a very close look at your 1966 car, and there was a degree of elegance about that car. The rear end and the way the whole thing was built, it was nearly a work of art, I thought. Do you think that's so different now to modern Formula One? Has it become so technically advanced that maybe that work of art's gone?
I'm certain nobody could do the things that I did and start again, because the cars today are just so complicated and so expensive. To start from scratch and something like that, you couldn't do. Wouldn't be possible. But luckily, I started in it when we hadn't got to that stage, and I was able to get on top of it.
So the game is very different today, but I'm also interested in, again, read a couple of stories where you've had some very close calls in a race car and managed to survive an era that many others didn't. Was surviving, obviously, in the back of your mind, but was a lot of luck involved?
Obviously there was some luck in it, but luck really is something you can steer as well. You've got to steer your own luck, really. And I think the thing that got me through was that I had complete confidence in what I was doing. Absolute complete confidence in the car, particularly in the car, because the car side of it was very important. And my driving, I had complete confidence in my driving. And that really helps, because if you haven't got confidence in what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. It comes down to that, and a lot of people, unfortunately, went racing that weren't really competent. So they had problems. Now, that didn't mean to say I couldn't have one as well, mind you.
Because there was one or two close calls, wasn't there?
Yeah, I had a couple of close calls, yeah. One of them was in 59, actually, in the championship year. I was racing at Portugal against Sterling Moss, and I was on the front row with Sterling, and we started off in this race, and we passed one another a couple of times, as the race went on, and we came to a car that we were lapping for the second time that had a Portuguese driver in it, and I was right up Sterling's exhaust pipe going up the straight, and this chap in the car probably looked back and couldn't see me. All he could see was Sterling. And as we went past, he pulled in to go behind Sterling and knocked me straight off the track. And I went straight up the straw bales, and as I went up the straw bales, I was looking down, there was a big drop with trees at the bottom, and that's where I thought I was going. But two things saved me. One, I hit a telegraph post, knocked the post over and brought the wires down.
Oh, no.
But the car ricocheted off the post back to the circuit instead of going down in amongst the trees. So it went the other way, luckily. And of course, as it went back to the track, I fell out of it because we didn't have seat belts in those days. Well, I had a seat belt then, I wouldn't be here talking to you about it today, because that seat belt would have, that would have been the end. The car came down upside down, bang, right up, and went along the road about 200 or 300 yards upside down. destroyed itself. And it would have been me in it.
Yeah. So a very close escape there, a very lucky escape. The tracks have changed so much. I can remember I saw a photo that you were talking about a particular circuit, and you look at what was around the tracks those days, and you mentioned just a telegraph pole there, but there was also things like curbs and barbed wire fences and trees, all sorts of things to hit, wasn't there?
Yeah, I don't think the drivers would like to go up on the track where they could run into a telegraph post.
Not good, Sir Jack.
Yeah, well, the safety of motor racing, of course, is just 1,000 times better than what it used to be. It's not only the cars have improved, but the circuits have improved, and you haven't got telegraph posts and trees and things anymore. They've actually done away with those, which is a good thing.
Good thing.
Anyway, really, motor racing today, of course, is extremely safe. Look at the crash that Mark Webber had in France just recently.
Yeah.
You couldn't imagine if he was driving a car like I was driving, he'd be history. But the car was so strong, and he really done. He must have got the altitude record, I think.
There was a lot of blue sky for a long time, wasn't there?
Couldn't believe it, and he walked away. So that really indicates just how safe motor racing is today, alongside the days when I was driving. And that really comes down to the car. The cars today are so strong.